Welcome to AI Rounds, your weekly dose of AI in medicine and education.
We are your hosts, Dr. Nuria
and Dr. Morgan Leaf. Each week, we'll bring you a quick dive into the latest in artificial intelligence and how it's transforming healthcare, medical education, and medical communications.
From the tools changing how we teach, learn, and write, to breakthroughs shaping patient care. If it's new, exciting, or just plain useful, we're talking about it.
In just 10 to 15 minutes, we'll get you up to speed and maybe even spark your next big idea.
Let's make the rounds. So today we're going to talk about a very scary study that talks about AI used in operating rooms that you found, Morgan. Do you want to tell us more about it?
Sure. And to be clear, it's not a study. It's just a report by a journalist that was in Reuters last month. It has a very threatening sounding title. It says, as AI enters the operating room, reports arise of botched surgeries and misidentified body parts.
That does sound horrible.
Yeah, to a certain extent, that's true. And they are reporting on some bad surgical outcomes. So that is very serious. It's also, I think, maybe a little bit of an overly dramatic title, but let's jump in and discuss what they're talking about. So first, they give the example of a tool, a medical device. So medical devices are all regulated through the FDA, right? But through different channels than drugs are. So a medical device that's used in sinus surgery. What has happened with this tool is that it's had AI assistance added to it. So it was initially approved for sinus surgery. Then as a later add-on approval, it got this AI technology added to it. And since the AI technology was added, there have been some reports of some bad outcomes from surgery, specifically where patients suffered strokes after I believe their carotid artery was injured during the surgeries.
So does the article say, what does the AI do with the medical device? What is it that the AI is doing?
Yes. So I believe that the AI is identifying anatomic landmarks.
Okay.
As part of the surgery. And I've done some consulting for companies before that have not this device, but have other types of intraoperative devices that have AI assistance for identifying critical anatomic landmarks for the surgery. So I think that's what's going on here. And the AI did not identify, I'm looking at the article right now, because it was the AI company that ended up being sued by the impacted patients, not the doctor. So they sued the AI company because they said it misled and misdirected the surgeon. The carotid artery was injured, and it says the surgeon had no idea he was anywhere near the carotid artery.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that is the one technology they're talking about. Just to say, as a physician who knows a little bit about these technologies, I feel there are some holes in this story. It's not the reporter's fault necessarily, but I feel like I need a lot more context for this, because if these tools existed before AI, what was the surgeon doing before AI was part of this to make sure that they were not near the carotid artery, right? Like all of those checks and balances should still be in place. And like anything else we do, the AI technology should be there as a supplement, in case you miss something. So I think that there's just a lot to understand here that isn't in the article. But that being said, they do present some interesting statistics about how many complaints have been lodged with the FDA, specifically since AI technology has been added to devices. And the bottom line issue here is when devices are approved by the FDA, there's a certain process they have to go through to become approved. And much like a drug, when a drug goes for an additional indication, the studies that are required maybe aren't quite as rigorous for that an additional indication, right? They're not having to repeat everything from square one, because the idea is kind of know the safety of it already and things like that.
Yeah.
And I guess it kind of works the same with devices. So if you're going to add on an additional indication for a device, such as putting AI technology in it, there isn't as rigorous of a data required to do that. And as a matter of fact, what they claim in this article is to add AI technology to a device, you don't even have to present human data, that
Oh,
it works and is
oh.
safe. So that's really the bottom line of what this article is talking about. And I think that's really important to discuss because AI is bringing great things to the medical field, right? Like,
Mhm,
undoubtedly, there are already diseases that are being diagnosed because of AI and
mhm.
surgeries that are being improved because of AI that make it a really beneficial technology. But at the same time, this is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that it sounds horrible, like that somehow your carotid artery gets nicked. Sounds dangerous. I would be
Yeah,
yeah, I would not be happy with that. And I wonder also how were the surgeons trained to work
right.
with this new like with the device with the AI integrated and all of that. I feel like we do need clinical trials to approve this type of thing.
Absolutely. So, what the article acknowledges as well
Mhm.
is what's been cut so much by the government in the past year,
Yeah.
year and a half,
Yeah. Yeah.
the FDA, right? So a
So
lot
yeah.
of this is a direct result of cuts at the FDA,
Yeah.
and they don't have staff to
Mhm.
review things in the way that we would probably like them reviewed.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, not just the cuts, but also like the changes in the way the FDA is supposed to work and all of that. Probably like there's a lot of confusion, which
Mhm.
creates for a less safe environment for the rest of us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So tell me about the missing body parts or the misaligned body parts.
Right. And I don't know in the title if they are referring to the carotid artery as being
Okay.
misidentified body parts, but the other technology they talk about in the article is a fetal ultrasound
Okay.
technology
Mm-hmm.
that apparently was misidentifying some fetal body parts,
Okay.
which is a little bit different, right? Than
Yeah.
like misidentifying your leg as a fully
Mm-hmm.
grown human or something, right? That's a much trickier thing to do, a fetal
Mm-hmm.
ultrasound. And there wasn't as much detail about that, but
Mm-hmm.
I also have the same questions about that technology, which is why isn't the AI just a supplement for what humans have been doing with their own eyeballs for
Yeah.
decades, right?
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand. I need more information to understand what the consequences are of it.
Yeah.
Is it just like, hey, this is bad that it's misidentifying it, it shouldn't be on the market? I agree. Or were there actual bad consequences? Or what's the deal? What's the downstream effect of that?
Yeah.
Because
I wonder what they were trying to use this ultrasound with AI for. Was this to do like in uterus surgery? Like what was
I
the
think just a scan. Let me
okay.
scroll down in the article.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously like, takes really specialized
Mm-hmm.
knowledge to be able to do a fetal scan, right? And identify
Yeah.
all of the body parts. Let's see. Okay, Sonio Detect software AI algorithm is faulty and wrongly labels fetal structures and associates them with the wrong body parts,
Uh-huh.
stated a report. So this is an FDA report
Yeah.
about the AI software for prenatal ultrasounds, which does not say that any patient was harmed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, it's interesting still that it was labeling. I feel like some of these AI solutions don't seem to be ready to go to market, you know?
Seems
It's a
like
little
it.
bit like maybe like do a little bit more testing before you bring them to market type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it brings up an important question. As a patient,
Mhm.
should you be asking about any of this before you have surgery? I kind of feel like I might now. I don't know.
Yes, yeah, and like, has it had like how many times has the surgeon used it, and how
Mhm.
like yeah, I think I would want a little bit more clarification. And like, I am usually like pro AI everything, but
Right. Well, this brought to mind I love your analogy, right? When you talk about drivers, right?
Yeah.
And you say it because I'm going to say it wrong.
Okay, so I'm wondering, yeah, so if we tolerate mistakes done by technology way less than we tolerate mistakes done by humans,
Yeah.
right? So for example, people die every day on the road because of bad driving. But if any of the self-driving cars has one accident and one person dies, like it can kill the company. So that just shows that lower degree of tolerance. And so maybe like if you showed me a clinical trial that showed that this AI results in fatal mistakes in surgeries like 10 times less than without the AI assistant
Yes.
or like something like that, maybe like then the benefit analysis is different, right? I
Yep.
do think we need to think about that, but I would like to see some real numbers. So I would
Yeah.
like to see some clinical trials and a little bit more, maybe some trials done in animals before and things like that, so that we know that it is at least as safe as
Yeah.
a non-AI assisted solution, I think.
I agree
Yeah.
completely.
Hmm.
That's already our standard for medical care, right? So it
Yeah.
needs to apply in this scenario as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for bringing this article, Morgan. I thought it was really interesting,
Me
very thought
too.
provoking.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
now we can all go be scared when we need
Yes,
surgery. No, I'm just
100%.
kidding. Now we all know the questions to ask if we need surgery.
100%. Yes. Ask your doctor, are you going to use any AI in my surgery?
Mhm.
Has
I
it been
will.
tested?
I will. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.